Hi, this is Mauvu doing your feedback. If you have any questions, just ping me in your thread. Yeah, instead of that very last scan you did there, probably would have been better to do like a reverse F5 check, because you were checking the chunk you're stood in, and that would have just been a more concrete way to check this chunk instead of like a scan to the left where like if the um if the BT is like on the lower sub chunk of the chunk you're in, it can like uh render in weird, and then your spike's gonna look weird occasionally. Like the elevation of this chunk meant that it was high enough that it wasn't in a lower sub chunk to make your spike look weird, but it's just like it can sometimes like look weird and throw you off and think you're not in the right chunk sometimes. Yeah. Here you should just throw out the sand and not offhand, hotkey the fish out of your hotbar before you get to these trees. The reason I say that is just it's good for hotbar sorting is so that like you always have like enough slots to have everything that you want, like the leaves, the boat, and the doors all want to be on your hotbar here. And the only way you do that is if you clear out all of that stuff. Um, Right, switch this. Okay, so like a few optimizations there, like before you go to a second tree, you want to make your boat and doors and break your crafting table so you don't have to backtrack to the crafting table later. And then with the leaves you're breaking here, generally you only want to break leaves. I mean, the leaves out here are like off the edge of this like ledge you climbed up. So like if you want to pick them up, you have to like drop down and jump back up, which is just slow. I mean, just looking at this pause though, it looks like there's kelp over here, so it might mean that you wouldn't have to go back up because you'd be leaving this direction for your magma ravine. Um, I think the point still stands. You shouldn't really be focusing on trying to mine the leaves that are fully out of the way. Like you want to mine the leaves that are between you and your next tree, ideally, and then like to the side as well, so that you can kind of pick all of them up as you go over to that next tree. And then you get the majority of your leaves from the second tree because you can like mine pretty much all the leaves and then pick them all up as you circle the tree while you mine it for the rest of your wood. Not trusting that kelp then, I guess. Yeah, these are some good ravines. Yeah, this looks really good. I'm interested to know if that kelp is real though. So potentially would have saved quite a bit of time in the overworld. Um, yeah, so with this like door placement is not great, but it's fine. The gravel you should mine are the ones that are easy to pick up on the way to the magma ravine. So it's like this one, the first one you broke, the one on the door, which would be last, and this one to get 4 to make sure you can grind gravel effectively in your portal. And most importantly, you can pick up all of these gravel really quickly. Like there's no it is fully overlapped with your movement towards the uh, magma ravine. Jesus, my brain is failing. Pretty good nether. Okay, yeah, so this terrain management is fine, but like, so we scan here, we know the spikes here, you see this terrain, and you want to start pillaring up instant, like, not pillaring up, but like going up instantly. Like, you don't want to wait until you're right at the base of this to start jumping up. You want to make use, because you want to make use of these blocks because the bastion was what, like 2 chunks away max. Like, it loaded in so quickly, you're not going to have much time before you reach the bastion to make use of all of these blocks you got. So you want to use them now to yeah, like, you basically use pretty much 0 blocks getting to this bastion. So this I'm guessing it's housing. Well, okay, yeah. So I was wondering why you weren't like F5ing around the side of this, because like I thought it was like housing or bridge here, because of like, I don't remember if I know bridge has this like chunk taken out of the side of it. There's also similar like chunks taken out of the side of the ramparts on the other one as well. I don't know about housing if it has something like this, but I know stables doesn't. Um, but yeah, even when you're pillaring up here, you probably should be like trying to check around the side to see if you could see the bridge visible here. And yeah, if the bridge was visible, which I mean, it obviously is, you can definitely make use of your extra blocks to get around to it, and then probably have like 20 blocks spare, as long as you're like slightly conservative with how many you use instead of just bridging like that. Yeah, and then you can just play, I don't know how old this run is, so probably Crack Smoker, but Super Art is even better. Is this double triple bridge. Yeah, this looks like a really good seed. Because it looks like you can just, there's 2 pearls from the right triple to the fortress. Okay, so I don't really know what we're doing here. Like, you should go in the like bastion map and just figure out your own like just movement that you want to do for like crack smoke, like along this bridge, like where you're sprint jumping to, because like most people will go to this block because it's just, it lines up with sprint jumps more. It's like I'd recommend just going in the practice map really quick and like figuring out how you're going to get to your crack smoker route or get to the DK route in bridge. So many pigmen. Well, you unpaused relatively late on the nether enter to like avoid pigman spawns. Check. Yeah, we wait for the chunks to go up. That's really unlucky with all the pigmen, especially in the trading area as well. Yeah, I think you just have to go for Dowski hole here. Or, well, I think you still call it Dowski hole, but yeah, you just go for the bottom hole because bringing those bottom guys up top is just going to be bad with all these pigmen around. We need to I think we need to be a little bit like I'm not sure about getting this guy in the hole because ideally we want to check both ramparts here to get 20. Like you need to go to the other rampart now. But we're not going there. Need to pre-craft a bed. We're just gonna play for diamond pickaxe. What are we doing? Yeah, so like what we need to do here, we pre-craft 2 beds because we've got a ton of string. Um, Ideally iron axe. Did we? I thought we had more iron earlier. Maybe I'm mistaken. You pulling slightly like where that gas was shooting you from. Really, that was very flat terrain. And then split all the like the nether brick, the pearls, all of that. Um, I guess like just one thing I'm noticing, we're taking way too long to get our pre-crafts done. Like you really want to be able to pre-craft a bed on pretty much every single bridge route. Um, and your iron axe here, both very important. Pearl hang is like it's not a massive time save on this seed, but it's so easy to do that you should be doing it every time. Like it's just right there, the pearl hang towards the fortress. Um, yeah, probably should have aimed that a little bit higher to land on top of this terrain. Yeah, and then you can just pearl straight onto the fortress. Um, yeah, before committing down one of these hallways, you want to try and scan. Yeah, it's a 4-way. Okay, kind of a like an unreasonable backseat in many situations, but it's just like if we're aware of everything, like it was a very there was no overlap time getting to the fortress, like no time to craft wall glowstone nether brick, right? Because it was so short. Um, so yeah, in between the axe hits on that first blaze, we could have crafted this nether brick here. Um, I'd recommend punching fire up with your axe so that it's already in your hand if the spawner spawns blazes, so you don't have to hotkey to it to start the cooldown like charging up. It should just be like a habit to punch out with your axe. So yeah, just losing time to like how fast we can get these blazes down. Like the faster you kill the blazes, the sooner you can get back to punching out the fire. and then in between, like some of these blaze hits, we should be putting the blaze rods on our hotbar between one of them, making blaze powder in another, and then making Eyes of Ender in the third. Yeah, you should just craft Ice in the Nether when you're at the spawner because it overlaps with the blaze spawner taking down instead of just crafting it here fully unoverlapped. Most of that uh, like Nether travel terrain was like pretty well managed. There was just like that one where we just like walked off the side for no real reason while I was in the air. We could have spent like that time or like clearing out inventory a little bit more. Um, and even though we have beds pre-crafted, the reason I'm saying that is when you're doing setup plus 0, having less things in your inventory as a total just makes it easier for your brain to like look at your inventory and find where all the like the beds, the obsidian, the bow, and like the nether bricks are. Like if you've got less like random like string and like flint and steels and torches and stuff like that, and it's going to be easier for you to like look at it and find where all your important items are. We miss starter or something. This is a weird stronghold. I'm gonna rewind because I was talking about the inventory management quite a bit. So we unpause spike this way, sort of. Don't really commit because I guess we're not in starter, but if you get a real spike, you should just trust it. Like, that kind of looked a little bit too like large, but I don't really know. I agree with going up here to check if it starts. Yeah, we should just go back down where we were going initially, I think. Okay, spike's gone. Maybe okay, before going down here, I would have like done another rescan looking down this like hallway to check if it's there or down the staircase. Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably been covered by entities, whatever was making this original spike. Or it was just the library. Could be real. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, that's just not really your fault. The guy just turned into an American sniper. I don't know what to say. Um, I guess like the nav, maybe a little bit more. Just like the main thing, or the main like problem with the nav was going down these stairs. should have done a rescan looking down these stairs beforehand before going down them. That was the only real major issue I had with it. The rest of it, I thought it was reasonable. Like, it didn't really feel like there was an objective way to play this stronghold. So, I mean, those are the types of strongholds that are just the worst when there's like no clear way to what you should be doing. Yeah, at this point, going down here is correct, and then it dies, and then going over here. Probably should have rescanned a little bit in that intersection, but yeah, and then this guy just like 180 somehow hits that, whatever. Um, yeah, so overall, there's the stuff I talked about on the island leave. I felt like I didn't mention this much, but I felt like it was a pretty like poor job of like assessing where we wanted to go after leaving the island. I thought that was mainly because we were committing to the kelp we saw, um, but you just didn't want to go for it, which, I mean, that's like a decision you can make, but given that we're not going for this kelp, you should have played the island in such a way that you wanted to sort of check this ocean to your left more. Like, we never really, like, you do that, and you're not going to have time to see any ravines that are like that don't have kelp above them if you're just looking at the ocean like that when there's so many icebergs and like kelp in your way. um that's a good amount of time to check this, and then you would just have the opposite side of this hill to check for ravines, but we never really like fully checked the ocean to our left here, like very much just a glance to see if there was anything extremely obvious. That was it. Um, so maybe just like half a second to a second more just to like see if there's a ravine there. But yeah, I think I definitely would have just played for that kelp we saw. Like it's just maybe it's not as consistent because it's like kind of near other need to look at this a little bit more. You turn towards the kelp. Yeah, it's kind of next to a well, not really actually. Okay, it's kind of close to this island, which indicates the ocean floor level is not the deepest, so it's more likely to be fake, but it's just so good to go for a immediate enter than having to look around because it just saves a ton of time. Like, there's also that, which doesn't look great, but yeah, I think I probably would have played for this card, but it's all subjective. Like, it's not the most important thing to take away. What I would say is not utilizing the blocks well on the way to the route start of your bastion. There's a heavy time loss here, like using them to go up here instead of waiting until we're right at the bottom of this to start jumping up. And then misidentifying the bastion and kind of just wasting a lot of our blocks, like doing this bridge around the corner and then like speed bridging along here for some reason when it is just faster to like place that one block and then place the next one, even if you're not confident with the movement and you have to line it up each time. It's still going to be like just as fast and you use a lot less blocks. Like, it's just better. The bastion route, it felt like you weren't it wasn't very like routine for you to make the iron axe and then the pre-craft beds and going for the pearl hang. It should be like that's the type of stuff that you want to be almost second nature, so that you can like commit your like brain energy to thinking about where are my pearls going to get to this fortress, because like it's easy to send a pearl hang and not have a plan of what you're gonna do to get to the fortress after that pearl lands. So like, I mean, this is like very like this is like the stuff that's like at the high end of like what you should be thinking about in the bastion is like trying to plan out the rest of the seed while you're waiting and just doing all this like automatic stuff. Like I'm pre-crafting my bed, but I see what I'm crafting and stuff, but I'm thinking about other things in the run. Like, oh, I'm not likely to get 20 obby here if it wasn't a double triple. Maybe I'm gonna have to force a spawner a little bit more and blind early with my diamond pickaxe. So maybe I want to force like 2 bed crafts to play the spawner better or something, like stuff like that. No, like just figuring out how you want to play the seed as soon as possible means that you have less decision making to do in the more intense parts of the run where there's like less downtime compared to like in the bastion here. We're just waiting on trades, we're just going to the chest, like we're not really doing anything that skill intensive. Like fast looting is not like it's not like a difficult thing really at this level. um, yeah, mini rant over. I felt like the blaze spawner was handled pretty well, but definitely could have been better. Like just having the axe as the like default thing we hold just means you can kill these blazes faster. Um, yeah, it was pretty good apart from that. Getting to the stronghold was very good as well. There's that one part we like walked off the fortress, but it didn't really matter. Apart from like clearing inventory, I explained why that's good earlier. Um, and then I think I went into pretty. I think I went into depth enough about the stronghold already, so I won't reiterate any of that. Yeah, thanks for sending in the run. If you have any questions, just ping me in your thread.